On your knees, boy. Hands behind your back, now. Officer Jenkins shoves Warren Anderson, the black groom, down at the altar. Twists his arm until Warren cries out, "Shoulda stayed in your lane." Handcuffs bite into wrists, blood on white cuffs, boutonniere crushed under a boot. 4 white officers storm Vineyard Chapel at 4:39 p.m., 187 witnesses frozen. Lieutenant Hayes shouts charges, fraud, conspiracy, falsifying documents. Warren's elderly mother collapses. The bride screams. Then Hayes turns around. Sheriff James Bradford, county sheriff, their boss, stands 20 feet down the aisle, walking the bride toward them. That bride, his daughter, the woman marrying Warren. Every officer freezes. Arresting a black man at his wedding is one thing. Doing it while the sheriff walks his daughter to marry him, different story. The warrant's a lie. The evidence will prove it. The real criminals will wear handcuffs. Stay for justice. Comment if you're angry. Subscribe for receipts. 3 hours earlier, 1:30 p.m. Warren Anderson stands in front of his bathroom mirror, adjusting his bow tie for the 5th time. His hands won't stop shaking. Not from fear, from anticipation. In 4 hours, he marries Sarah Bradford, the woman who stayed when his business nearly failed last year. The woman who helped his mother through pneumonia last winter. The woman who saw him, not his struggle. Warren learned everything from his father. Thomas Anderson built roads in Georgia for 20 years. Strong back, steady hands, taught his son to measure twice, cut once, never cut corners, died on a job site in 2009, heart attack at 51. Warren was 16. Thomas left behind $60,000 in medical debt, a widow, and a son who swore he'd finish what his father started. 15 years later, Warren runs Anderson Engineering from a modest office on Riverside's east side. 3 years in business. 5 employees who trust him. Every permit filed on time. Every inspection passed first try. Every invoice paid within 30 days. At 34, he's built the life his father dreamed about but never lived to see. His mother, Dorothy, is 68 now. Gray hair, tired eyes, strong spirit. Warren paid off her medical debt in 6 years. Worked 80-hour weeks at someone else's firm before going solo. Every Sunday morning, they sit in the same church pew his father sat in. Every Wednesday evening, Warren fixes whatever broke in her house that week. Leaky faucet, stuck window, creaky door. She calls him her answered prayer. He calls it being a son. Sarah Bradford teaches 3rd grade in Greenfield, 15 miles north of Riverside. 29 years old, patient with kids who struggle with reading, firm with kids who don't try. She met Warren 2 years ago at a county meeting about the new library project. The room was full of contractors and politicians. Warren stood up and spoke for 20 minutes about wheelchair accessibility, sight lines for short children, natural lighting for kids with sensory issues. Most people scrolled through their phones. Sarah took notes on a yellow legal pad. Afterward, she approached him in the parking lot, asked one question about ADA compliance standards. He answered for 10 minutes. She asked another about universal design principles. He answered for 20. They got coffee at the diner across the street, then dinner the following weekend, then 2 years of Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights and planning a future together. What her teaching colleagues don't know, her father is Sheriff James Bradford. She never mentions it at school. Goes by Miss Bradford in the classroom, pays her own rent from her teaching salary, drives her own car, a 10-year-old Honda Civic, lives in a small apartment with plants on the windowsill and student artwork on her fridge. "I need to be known for what I do," she told Warren on their 3rd date. Not who my father is. Warren respected that then, still respects it now. Sheriff James Bradford has worn a badge for 32 years. Started as a deputy in 1992, fresh out of the Army, back straight, standards high. Worked his way up through patrol, detectives, administration. Elected county sheriff 4 times. His department has a reputation across Georgia. Professional, clean, no scandals. People who distrust police in general still respect Jim Bradford specifically. His wife died 7 years ago. Cancer. 14 months from diagnosis to funeral. Sarah is his only child. He's protective but never controlling. Supportive but not interfering. He met Warren after 8 months of dating. Invited him to dinner at his house. Grilled steaks in the backyard. Asked questions about his business, his plans, his intentions. At the end of the night, he shook Warren's hand, looked him in the eye, said, You treat her right or you answer to me." Warren looked back without flinching, said, "Yes, sir, every single day." Bradford nodded once. That was enough. They've been building respect ever since. Lieutenant Derek Hayes runs the patrol division under Chief Harold Dixon, 42 years old, 18 years on the force, military background, sharp uniforms, sharper tongue, 248 arrests last year, highest numbers in the department by a significant margin, 12 citizen complaints about racial profiling in the past 5 years, all investigated, all dismissed, unfounded, insufficient evidence, officer exonerated. Hayes rarely interacts with the sheriff directly. Different chains of command, different worlds, different priorities. Riverside County is booming. 35,000 people and growing. New subdivisions spreading like kudzu. New schools needed. New infrastructure. $18 million in the annual public works budget. Roads need paving. Bridges need building. Libraries need renovating. Fire stations need expanding. Somebody gets those contracts. Morrison Construction gets most of them. Has for years. John Morrison is 55. Third-generation contractor. His grandfather poured the foundation for Riverside's first hospital in 1952. His father built the county courthouse in 1978. John has built everything else since. Between 2019 and 2024, Morrison Construction won 60 contracts out of 67 total county projects. 89%, $12.3 million. His company's revenue jumped from $2.1 million in 2018 to $9.4 million in 2024. That's growth. That's dominance. That's monopoly. Nobody beats Morrison. Until May 2024, the county announces competitive bidding for the Riverside County Library renovation project. Significant scope. $1.8 million, expected duration, 12 to 14 months. Warren spends 3 weeks on his proposal. Detailed specifications, itemized budget, timeline with contingencies, quality control measures, local labor commitments, minority-owned business advantages. He submits $1.76 million, 11 months, guaranteed completion date. Morrison submits $2.1 million, 14 months, same crew he always uses, June 1st. The county sends Warren an email. Subject line, contract award notification. Body, congratulations, your proposal has been selected. He won. Score, 94 out of 100. Highest score in Riverside County history according to the evaluation committee. Morrison scored 81. Warren tells his mother over Sunday dinner at her kitchen table. The same table his father ate at. The same plates they've used for 20 years. She cries into her napkin. Tears of joy, tears of relief, tears of vindication. "Baby, your daddy is looking down from heaven smiling so big today." What Warren doesn't tell her, Lieutenant Hayes drove past his office 3 times that week, slow cruising, watching, staring. Warren noticed from his window, but dismissed it as coincidence. Had to be coincidence. Sarah mentions casually one evening that her father asked about Warren's business during their weekly call. "He wanted to know about the library project. I think Dad's really proud you won such a big contract." She doesn't know that her father is actually wondering why his patrol lieutenant keeps bringing up Anderson Engineering in morning briefings, why Hayes seems unusually interested in this particular contractor. June 15th arrives hot. 92 degrees by noon. Feels like 100 in the sun. Vineyard Chapel has air conditioning, but it struggles on days like this. The ceremony is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. 187 guests confirmed. Warren's tuxedo has been pressed twice. Sarah's dress hangs in its garment bag like a white ghost. Perfect and waiting. Sheriff Bradford puts on his charcoal gray suit at 3 p.m. Civilian clothes today. No badge pinned to his chest. No gun on his hip. No radio on his belt. This is family time, father time. The last few hours before he walks his daughter down an aisle and gives her to someone else. 4 miles away across town, Lieutenant Derek Hayes puts on his dress uniform at 3:15 p.m., checks his service weapon, polishes his badge with a soft cloth until it gleams like a mirror, slides a pair of handcuffs into his belt, checks his phone, reviews the warrant one more time, briefs 3 officers in his driveway, Jenkins, Morrison, Blake. We go in at 4:39 p.m. The ceremony will be underway. Maximum witnesses, maximum public impact. Make it clean, make it memorable, make it a lesson. 4:15 p.m. Vineyard Chapel fills with voices, laughter echoing off wooden walls, anticipation thick in the air. Warren's side, 80 guests, friends from church who've known him since he was a boy, colleagues from his early engineering days at the firm, small business owners who gave him his first contracts when he went solo. Sarah's side, 107 guests, teachers from Greenfield Elementary who love Sarah, family friends who've watched her grow up, some of her father's colleagues from the county who don't know they work for the sheriff. Warren stands at the altar with Jerome, his cousin, his best man, the one who lent him $5,000 to start his company 3 years ago. Pastor Williams, 68, kind eyes, warm smile, reviews the ceremony order one last time in a whisper. Warren's hands still shake, not from doubt, from overwhelming emotion. Jerome notices, puts a hand on his shoulder. "You good, man?" Warren nods, swallows hard. "Never better in my life." 4:28 p.m. The music shifts. The bridesmaids enter in navy blue dresses, 3 women who've been Sarah's friends since college. Michelle, her roommate from freshman year, walks last. Then the flower girl, Sarah's 6-year-old niece in white lace, scattering rose petals with serious concentration. Then the ring bearer, Jerome's 7-year-old son, carrying the rings on a white pillow like they're made of glass and gold. 4:30 p.m. exactly. The music changes completely. Canon in D full orchestral version piped through the chapel speakers. Everyone stands as one. The back doors open with practiced slowness. Sarah appears framed in afternoon sunlight. White dress, simple cut, cathedral train, elegant and understated, her arm linked with her father's, Sheriff Bradford in charcoal gray. No badge, no gun, no indication of authority. Just a father in a suit giving away his daughter. They begin walking. Traditional pace, measured and deliberate. 1 step every 2 seconds. 40 feet to cover from door to altar. Sarah's train whispers against polished hardwood. Rose petals shift slightly under her feet. Bradford's face shows everything a father feels in this moment. Pride that makes his chest tight, loss that hollows his stomach, love that fills every empty space, the knowledge that after today she belongs to someone else, belongs to herself, belongs to the future. They're 15 feet down the aisle, almost halfway. Warren can't breathe properly. His chest feels too small for his lungs. Sarah glows under the chapel lights. 200 phones record the moment for Instagram and Facebook and family group chats. Mrs. Anderson dabs her eyes with tissue in the 3rd row. This is the moment. This is the dream. This is what her husband worked for and never saw. 4:31 p.m. Everything changes. The backside entrance doors slam open, not the gentle ceremonial doors they used for the processional. The utility doors, the exit doors. Bang. Metal hitting wood hard enough to echo. The music stutters but continues, confused but continuing. Heads turn like dominoes. Confusion ripples through rows of guests like wind through wheat. 4 officers in dress uniform stride in, not walk, stride, purpose in every step, boots on hardwood making sounds that don't belong in a wedding chapel. Thump, 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 thump. Lieutenant Derek Hayes leads like a general. Officers Jenkins, Morrison, Blake follow in tight formation. Badges reflecting light, gun belts visible, handcuffs visible. Wrong, all of it wrong. The murmurs start immediately. What's happening? Are those police? Is there a fire? Is something wrong? Sarah's grip on her father's arm tightens involuntarily. They're 20 feet down now, exactly halfway through their walk. Sheriff Bradford's head turns toward the disruption. His expression shifts in stages, confusion at the interruption. Recognition of the uniforms, recognition of the stride, recognition of Lieutenant Hayes, his department, his officers. What are they doing here? Hayes marches straight toward the altar. Doesn't pause. Doesn't acknowledge the sheriff even though he must see him. Doesn't acknowledge anyone. Eyes locked on target like a missile locked on heat signature. Warren Anderson, the groom, the man in the tuxedo standing at the altar. They reach the altar area in 15 seconds of purposeful movement. Fan out in a semicircle. Intimidation formation. Tactical positioning. Pastor Williams steps back with both hands raised slightly. "Gentlemen, this is highly irregular." Hayes cuts him off with a raised hand. "Stop." Not another word. "Warren Anderson?" Warren's voice cracks like thin ice. "Yes." Hayes projects his voice to the back row, every syllable pronounced with parade ground clarity. Warren Anderson, you are under arrest for fraud, falsifying official documents, and conspiracy to defraud Riverside County of public funds. The chapel explodes with sound, gasps like collective lung collapse, shouts of disbelief. What? No! This can't be happening! Not now! This is a wedding! Hayes pulls a laminated card from his inner uniform pocket. Reads Miranda rights louder than necessary, making sure every witness hears every word. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Warren tries to speak over him. There must be some kind of mistake. I haven't done anything. I filed all the correct... Hayes talks over him, louder, more forceful. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you at no cost. Do you understand these rights as I have read them to you? Officer Jenkins steps forward from the formation. Handcuffs already out, metal already glinting under chapel lights. Sir, I need you to turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Sarah, still 20 feet away in the middle of the aisle with her father, tries to move forward, tries to run to Warren. Her father's grip on her arm holds her in place. Wait, just wait. She yanks against him. Dad, that's Warren. They're arresting Warren. You have to stop them. Bradford's voice is quiet, confused, controlled. I see it. I see what's happening. Just wait. But Sarah breaks free, runs forward, wedding dress bunching and dragging, heels clicking. He didn't do anything, Dad. Stop them. You're the sheriff. Make them stop. Jenkins grabs Warren's shoulder without gentleness, spins him around roughly. Warren stumbles, catches himself on the altar rail. Jenkins grabs his wrist, pulls it behind his back, hard enough to hurt. Warren gasps audibly. The handcuff closes with a metallic click that echoes. Click. Then the second wrist. Click. Both hands bound behind his back, behind his tuxedo jacket. On your knees, boy! Jenkins doesn't wait for compliance. Shoves Warren down. Warren's knees hit hardwood with a sound that makes people wince. His boutonniere falls from his lapel, white rose hitting floor. Jenkins's boot comes down on it, crushes it. White petals scattering. Should have stayed in your lane, boy. Mrs. Anderson stands in the third row. Her hand goes to her chest. Her face goes pale. Her knees buckle. She collapses into the pew. Guests immediately rush to help. Someone call an ambulance! Ma'am, can you hear me? Does anyone know CPR? Give her space. Hayes pulls a folded document from his inner pocket, holds it up high like a trophy, like proof. This is a warrant signed by Judge Theodore Morrison, dated June 15th, 2024. Timestamp, 2:48 p.m. Everything here is legal. Everything is by the book. We're just doing our jobs. That's when he turns around. Sheriff James Bradford stands in the middle of the aisle, 20 feet away. Still in the processional position, even though his daughter has run forward, even though the ceremony has shattered. The sheriff's face is carefully controlled, unreadable. But his eyes tell a different story. Hayes meets those eyes. Sheriff Bradford, sir. 10 seconds of absolute silence. 10 seconds where the only sounds are Mrs. Anderson's labored breathing and someone crying in the back row and the air conditioning struggling. Bradford's eyes move methodically. From Hayes's face to Warren on his knees to the handcuffs to his daughter sobbing to the warrant in Hayes's hand. Processing, calculating, understanding. Hayes maintains rigid eye contact. Sir, we have a legal warrant signed by a circuit court judge. I'm executing my sworn duty as a law enforcement officer. Bradford's voice is quiet, quieter than it should be, but there's something underneath it, something dangerous. In the middle of a wedding ceremony. The warrant doesn't specify timing restrictions, sir. A warrant is valid 24 hours a day. Whose wedding, Lieutenant? Hayes doesn't flinch. A suspect's wedding, sir. A person under investigation for serious crimes. That suspect, Bradford points at Warren with a shaking hand, is my daughter's fiancé. Was supposed to be my son-in-law in about 10 minutes, that woman crying over there? That's my daughter, my only child. This ceremony you just destroyed? I was walking her down the aisle. I was giving her away. Do you understand what you've done? Hayes's jaw tightens, but he doesn't back down. Sir, I understand this is unfortunate timing. I understand this is your family, but the law doesn't care about convenience. The law doesn't care about feelings. The law cares about justice, and Warren Anderson broke the law. Bradford takes one step forward. Just one, but it's enough. Every officer's hand moves slightly toward their belt. Tension spikes. "Show me that warrant, right now." Hayes hands it over with steady hands. Bradford unfolds it with shaking ones, reads every line, every word. His eyes narrow when he reaches the signature block. "This says Judge Morrison signed it at 2:49 p.m. today, this afternoon." "Yes, sir, that's correct." "Judge Theodore Morrison was presiding in circuit court until 3:15 p.m. today. I know because I checked his docket this morning. He had the Stevens versus County hearing. Chambers are in Glenville, 25 miles north of here. So tell me, Lieutenant, how exactly did Judge Morrison sign this warrant at 2:49 p.m. when he was sitting on a bench conducting a hearing in a different city?" "Sir, respectfully, I'm not responsible for judicial scheduling or administrative processes. My job is to execute valid warrants. This warrant has a judge's signature, a case number, and official seal. It appeared valid on its face. I executed it." Bradford folds the warrant slowly, precisely, hands it back. "Warren Anderson will surrender himself Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp, county jail. I give you my word. He's not fleeing anywhere. He's not hiding. You want him Monday? You'll get him Monday." Hayes doesn't take the warrant back. "With respect, sir, I have my orders. The warrant is signed. It's legal. I'm taking him into custody right now, today." "Orders from who? Who gave you orders to storm into a wedding and arrest a man in front of his family?" "From the district attorney's office, from the warrant itself, from the law. Same law you swore to uphold, sir." The standoff lasts another 5 seconds. Sheriff and lieutenant, elected official and career officer, father and subordinate, authority versus authority. Two men who both believe they're right. Bradford makes his choice, steps aside, barely moves, just enough. "This isn't over, Lieutenant, not even close." Hayes nods once to Jenkins. "Load him up, let's move." Jenkins yanks Warren to his feet by the handcuffs. The metal bites deeper into already abraded wrists. Warren tries to look back at Sarah one more time. Jenkins shoves him forward. Eyes front, keep moving. They march him down the aisle. The same 40-foot path Sarah just walked. The same path they were supposed to walk together after being pronounced husband and wife. But this is different. This is a perp walk. 87 steps from altar to exit. Warren counts every single one. Guests line both sides. Some are crying, some are recording on phones, some just stare in shocked silence. Mrs. Anderson is being attended to by 3 women. She's conscious now, but barely. Seeing her son in handcuffs at his own wedding broke something fundamental in her. Jerome shouts from somewhere behind them. "This is complete bullshit! Warren didn't do anything, he's innocent!" Hayes doesn't turn around, doesn't acknowledge, just keeps walking with military precision. Warren passes people he knows, people who matter. Mr. Chen from church, who always sits 2 rows behind his family. His old supervisor from the engineering firm who wrote his first reference letter. The county librarian who personally congratulated him on winning the bid. A dozen contractors he's worked with. Their faces show everything: shock, confusion, pity, fear. Some are already wondering if associating with him will hurt them. Sarah runs alongside the procession, wedding dress dragging through scattered rose petals, train getting dirty, makeup running. "Dad, do something! You're the sheriff! You can stop this! Please!" But Bradford stands frozen in the aisle, watching his department humiliate his daughter, watching and not moving, watching and not speaking. They reach the back doors. Afternoon sunlight streams in. Heat hits like a physical wall. The patrol car sits 30 feet away in the parking lot, engine running, ready. Lights off, but ready to go. Hayes opens the back door, standard procedure. Jenkins pushes Warren's head down with one hand on his skull, shoves him into the back seat. The door slams. Metal and glass between Warren and freedom. Between Warren and his wedding. Between Warren and his life. 4:52 p.m. 18 minutes after the arrest began. The patrol car pulls away. Warren watches through the rear window, the chapel receding into distance. Sarah collapsed on the front steps. Her white dress pooled around her like spilled milk. Her father standing over her, not touching her, not comforting her, just standing. The wedding that never happened becoming smaller and smaller until the car turns a corner and it's gone completely. By 5:15 p.m., the first video uploads to social media. Posted by Sarah's cousin Marcus on Instagram and TikTok simultaneously. 16 seconds of shaky footage. Shows officers entering, shows them reaching the altar, shows Warren on his knees, shows handcuffs clicking. Caption simple and devastating. They arrested the groom at his own wedding, Riverside County, Georgia. #Riverside wedding #justice for Warren #system failed. By 5:45 p.m., 12 more videos have uploaded from different guests, different angles, different moments of the same nightmare. One shows the sheriff frozen in the aisle while his department acts. One captures Mrs. Anderson collapsing. One gets perfect audio of Hayes reading Miranda rights. One catches Jenkins saying, "Shoulda stayed in your lane, boy." That particular video goes viral first, the racial undertone impossible to ignore. By 6:20 p.m., #Riverside wedding is trending in Georgia. 51,000 views across all platforms. Comments flood in faster than anyone can read them. The narrative splits immediately. This is exactly what they do to successful black men. Can't stand to see us win. Can't let us have anything, not even our own weddings. There must be evidence. Police don't just arrest people for nothing. Wait for the facts before judging. That's Sheriff Bradford's daughter, his own department. Why didn't he stop it? He had the authority. Because he couldn't. That's a legal warrant. Even sheriffs have to follow the law. He did the right thing. That warrant is bullshit and everyone knows it. This whole thing stinks. The comments split roughly 50-50. Half believe Warren is innocent, targeted for being successful while black. Half assume guilt, trusting that the system wouldn't arrest someone without cause. Nobody has all the facts yet, but everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a take. Warren sits in holding cell B3 at Riverside County Jail, still in his tuxedo. Blood dried brown on his wrists where the handcuffs cut him. They took his belt, his shoes, his bow tie, his watch, left him with the shirt and pants. The cell is 8 by 10 feet, concrete walls painted institutional beige, metal bench bolted to the wall, toilet in the corner with no seat and no privacy, no dignity, no comfort. 6:30 p.m., a corrections officer brings him a phone. Corded, old. One call, 5 minutes maximum. Warren calls Sarah. She answers before the first ring finishes. "Warren, oh my God, baby, are you okay? Are you hurt?" His voice cracks like a 12-year-old's. "I don't understand any of this. I filed everything correctly. Every single document, every permit, every form. I have copies of everything. I can prove—" "I know. I know you did. Baby, my dad is making phone calls right now. He's trying to figure out what happened, how they got a warrant. Sarah, I didn't do anything wrong. I swear to you. I know, I believe you. Everyone who knows you believes you. We were supposed to be married right now, right this second. We should be at the reception. We should be dancing. This should be the best day of our lives." Silence on the line. Then Sarah sobs. Full breakdown. Gasping tears. Warren closes his eyes, presses the phone against his ear, wishes he could hold her, wishes this was a nightmare, wishes he could wake up. "I'm going to fix this," he says, trying to sound certain, trying to sound strong. "I promise you I'm going to fix this." "You don't promise that. Don't promise things you can't control. Just stay safe in there. Keep your head down. Don't talk to anyone. I'll be there as soon as they let me see you." The guard taps his watch. Time's up. Warren hangs up, returns to the cell, sits on the metal bench, stares at the beige wall, tries to process, tries to understand, fails at both. Outside the jail, the media arrives like wolves to blood. 3 news vans by 7 p.m., reporters setting up on the courthouse steps across the street, lights, cameras, microphones. The story is too good to pass up, too perfect. Sheriff's daughter's wedding interrupted by arrest, black groom, white officers, video evidence everywhere, corruption allegations, racial profiling questions, dramatic footage, human interest, legal questions. It has everything a news director dreams about. Channel 5 leads with it at 7:30 p.m. Breaking news tonight from Riverside County. A wedding turned into an arrest scene this afternoon when local civil engineer Warren Anderson was taken into custody on fraud charges. But this wasn't just any wedding. The bride is Sarah Bradford, daughter of longtime County Sheriff James Bradford, and the sheriff was literally walking her down the aisle when his own officers made the arrest. They show clips, the best clips. Warren in handcuffs, Sarah crying, the sheriff standing frozen, Hayes reading the warrant like he's reading a eulogy. The anchor continues voiceover. Anderson, 34, recently won a major county contract for library renovation work worth $1.8 million. That contract is now under investigation. The district attorney's office released this brief statement. We take all allegations of fraud seriously. The investigation into Mr. Anderson is ongoing. We cannot comment on specifics at this time. Channel 9 covers it at 8 p.m. Their angle is different, harder. Questions tonight about whether this arrest was appropriate or even necessary. Legal experts we spoke with say the timing, arresting someone in the middle of their wedding ceremony in front of 200 witnesses, is highly unusual and raises serious questions. Civil rights attorney Lisa Monroe, who has handled dozens of police misconduct cases, says this arrest bears all the hallmarks of intimidation. They cut to Monroe: professional, measured, credible. When law enforcement chooses to arrest someone at their wedding ceremony in front of their family and friends and community, that's a choice. That's a deliberate choice. If they had legitimate charges and legitimate evidence, they could have arrested him quietly the next day, at his office, at his home. The fact that they chose this particular moment, this particular venue, this particular audience, that tells you this isn't just about law enforcement. This is about sending a message. That message is power. That message is intimidation. That message is know your place. By 9 p.m., the story jumps from local to national. CNN picks it up for their evening segment. Groom arrested at wedding while sheriff walks bride, his own daughter, down the aisle. Tonight, we examine questions about racial profiling and abuse of power in small-town America. MSNBC covers it on their 9 o'clock hour. Fox News mentions it briefly. Everyone has a take. Everyone has an angle. Nobody has the full story yet. But that doesn't stop anyone from filling in the blanks with assumptions. Social media explodes exponentially. Riverside wedding trends nationally by 9:30 p.m. 3 million views by midnight across all platforms. The videos loop endlessly. Warren on his knees, handcuffs clicking with that metallic finality. Sarah screaming for her father to do something. Mrs. Anderson collapsing. The sheriff frozen like a statue. Different angles, same horror. Comments multiply by the thousands. The divide deepens. They can't let us have anything. Not success, not happiness, not even our own goddamn weddings. This is America. He must have done something. You don't get arrested at your wedding unless there's serious evidence. Stop making everything about race. Look at that sheriff's face. Even he knows this is wrong. His own department, and he just stands there. The sheriff is weak. Should have stopped it right there. Badge or no badge, that's his daughter. The sheriff did exactly right. You don't interfere with a legal warrant. Not even for family. That's integrity. That warrant ain't legal. Watch. This whole thing is going to unravel in the next week. Warren doesn't see any of it. No phone, no internet, no TV in the holding cell. He sits in silence, stares at beige walls. His tuxedo is wrinkled and stained. His wrists throb with each heartbeat. His wedding day is over. No ceremony, no pronouncement, no vows, no kiss, no first dance, no cake cutting, no reception, no honeymoon. Oh, just handcuffs and concrete and a metal bench and the question nobody can answer yet. Why? At 10:30 p.m., Sheriff Bradford arrives at the jail, demands to see the arrest warrant. The desk sergeant, young and nervous, hesitates. Sir, that's evidence in an active criminal case. I can't just... I'm the county sheriff. This is my jurisdiction. I'm not asking permission. I'm giving you an order. The sergeant makes a quick phone call. Chief Harold Dixon arrives 20 minutes later. They meet in Dixon's office. Second floor, door closed, voices immediately raised. Jim, you absolutely cannot interfere in this investigation. I'm not interfering. I'm reviewing a warrant that was executed by my department at my daughter's wedding. I have every right. It's not your case. You're too close. You need to step back. Everything in this county is my case. Show me the warrant. Dixon stares at him for 5 seconds, then slides the document across his desk. Bradford reads it again, more slowly this time, more carefully, looking for what he missed the first time at the chapel. The signature line, Judge Theodore Morrison. Date, June 15, 2024. Time, 2:49 p.m. Bradford pulls out his phone, opens the public circuit court calendar. Online, accessible to anyone. Judge Morrison's docket for June 15th. Case listed, Stevens v. Riverside County. Hearing time, 2 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. Location, Glenville Courthouse, 127 Main Street. He does the math in his head. Glenville is 25 miles north, at least 30 minutes of driving, even with no traffic. Morrison was sitting in court at 2:49 p.m. in a different building, in a different city. Physically impossible to have signed this warrant. Bradford looks up slowly. This warrant is fraudulent. Dixon's face hardens into stone. That's an extremely serious accusation, Jim. It's an extremely serious problem, Harold. Morrison couldn't physically have signed this when and where it says he did. He was in court. Public record. Anyone can check. Maybe he signed it earlier in the day. Maybe the timestamp is a clerical error. Maybe this whole arrest is bullshit from beginning to end. They stare at each other across the desk. Boss and chief, elected official and appointed administrator, power and politics colliding. Dixon speaks first. Carefully. Even if the timestamp is incorrect due to administrative error, the warrant is still fundamentally valid. The charges are real. Anderson is under legitimate investigation for serious financial crimes. Investigation for what, exactly? Show me the evidence. Show me what he falsified. That information isn't public yet. It's part of an ongoing investigation. If it's not public, it doesn't exist. Dixon stands up. Go home, Jim. You're too emotionally close to this situation. It's your daughter's fiancé. You can't possibly be objective. Bradford stands too, matches him. I'm the most objective person in this entire building right now because I know Warren Anderson. I've watched that man for 2 years. I've seen how he works, how he treats people, how he runs his business. That man doesn't cut corners, doesn't lie, doesn't cheat, doesn't take shortcuts. If you have real evidence of wrongdoing, show it to me. If you don't, let him go. I can't do that. The DA wants him held until arraignment Monday morning. When's arraignment? 9 a.m. Monday. So Warren sits in a cell all weekend for a crime he didn't commit based on a warrant that's impossible? That's how the system works, Jim. You know that. Bradford walks to the door, stops with his hand on the knob, doesn't turn around. The system is broken, Harold, and I'm going to prove it. He leaves. The door doesn't slam, closes quietly. Somehow that's worse. 11:40 p.m. Bradford sits in his truck in the jail parking lot, makes 3 phone calls. First, Robert Davis, his personal attorney, wakes him up. Rob, I need you at county jail in 30 minutes. Client is Warren Anderson. Fraud charges, being held on a warrant that's physically impossible. Davis groans. Jim, it's almost midnight. I know what time it is. 30 minutes. This is important. This is about your daughter's. This is about an illegal arrest. My daughter's fiancé, yes. 30 minutes. Davis arrives at 12:15 a.m., meets with Warren in a consultation room. Yellow walls, metal table, 2 chairs. They talk for 45 minutes. Davis takes extensive notes, reviews Warren's explanation of the bid process, examines every document Warren remembers submitting, looks at the warrant copy, sees the timestamp immediately. 12:55 a.m. Davis makes an emergency call. Judge Patricia Wells, senior judge on duty this weekend, explains the situation. The impossible timestamp, the wedding arrest, the public humiliation. Judge Wells is distinctly unhappy about being woken at 1 a.m., but she's thorough, fair, known for it. Bring me the original warrant and a printed copy of the court calendar showing Judge Morrison's schedule. My chambers, Sunday morning, 8 o'clock sharp. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me yet. If this is what it looks like, someone's going to lose their job. Sunday morning, June 16th. Warren has been in custody 14 hours, still wearing his wrinkled tuxedo. No sleep, no shower, no real food, no answers. 8 a.m., Judge Wells's chambers, wood paneling, law books, American flag. She reads the warrant carefully, checks the circuit court calendar on her computer. Her expression darkens progressively. Judge Morrison was definitely in Glenville presiding over Stevens versus County from 2 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. on June 15th. Public record. I'm looking at it right now on the official court system. She looks at Lieutenant Hayes, who was summoned to explain. Lieutenant Hayes, explain to me how Judge Morrison signed this warrant at 2:49 p.m. when he was on the bench conducting a hearing 25 miles away. Hayes doesn't blink, doesn't waver. Your Honor, I received this warrant from the district attorney's office through standard channels. I executed it exactly as written. The signature verification process is not my responsibility. That's judicial administration. The validity of your arrest is absolutely your responsibility. The warrant appeared valid on its face when I received it. It had a judge's signature, a case number, an official court seal, standard format. I had no reason to question its authenticity. Judge Wells turns to Assistant District Attorney Karen Cooper. Miss Cooper, explain this discrepancy. Cooper looks visibly uncomfortable, shifting in her seat. Your Honor, I'll need time to investigate how this occurred. This warrant was processed through our normal channels. If there's been an administrative error in the timestamping, this isn't an administrative error, Miss Cooper. This is a physical impossibility. Judge Morrison could not have signed this document at 2:49 p.m. while simultaneously presiding over a hearing in a different city. That's not an error. That's fraud. Sheriff Bradford speaks from his position near the door. Your Honor, I'm formally requesting Warren Anderson's immediate release. This arrest was based on a fraudulent warrant. The arrest itself is therefore invalid. Cooper objects quickly. Your Honor, even if the timestamp is somehow incorrect, the underlying criminal charges remain completely valid. Mr. Anderson is under active investigation for submitting false information on a county bid. For what specifically? Davis interrupts sharply. What exact information did he allegedly falsify? Cooper hesitates, looks at her notes. That's part of our ongoing investigation. I cannot disclose specifics. You can't disclose because it doesn't exist. Davis slides a thick folder across the table. Here's every single document Warren Anderson submitted for the library bid. Every permit application, every certification, every financial disclosure, every reference letter, all verified by the county's own evaluation committee. All legitimate. I had an independent forensic accountant review everything last night. No irregularities, no falsifications, nothing. Judge Wells takes the folder, reviews documents methodically, takes her time. 10 full minutes of silence while everyone waits. Finally, she looks up. I'm releasing Mr. Anderson on his own recognizance effective immediately pending a full investigation into how this warrant was generated. Miss Cooper, I want a comprehensive written report on my desk by Wednesday explaining how this warrant came to exist, who requested it, who prepared it, who signed it, and why the timestamp is impossible. Lieutenant Hayes, you are ordered to have no further contact with Mr. Anderson unless substantial new evidence emerges. Sheriff Bradford, I understand your personal interest here, but I need you to step back and let proper channels handle this. Bradford stands. With respect, Your Honor, an invalid warrant was executed in my county by my department. That makes it directly my jurisdiction to investigate. Judge Wells considers this. Fine, but the moment I find out you're interfering with the criminal investigation, I'll hold you in contempt. Understood? Understood, Your Honor. 9:15 a.m. Warren walks out of county jail into bright Sunday morning sunlight. Davis and Bradford wait by the main entrance. Sarah is there too. The moment she sees him, she runs, throws her arms around him. They hold each other in the parking lot for a long time. Neither speaks. Don't need to. Bradford approaches slowly. Warren, I'm sorry. This should never have happened to you, to anyone. Warren looks at him. Sees the sheriff, sees Sarah's father, sees a man caught between his duty and his family. It's not your fault, sir. It happened in my department under my watch. That makes it my fault. I'm going to fix it. Sarah finally speaks, voice raw from crying. What happens now, Dad? Bradford's voice is quiet but certain. Now we find out who's behind this, and we make damn sure they pay for it. Monday, June 17th. Rachel Torres sits at her desk at the Riverside Chronicle. 15 years investigative journalism, 2 major corruption exposés, 1 state journalism award. She watches the wedding arrest video again. Something's wrong here. She files public records requests, gets county contracts data by Tuesday. Spreadsheet shows 67 contracts awarded since 2019. Morrison Construction won 60 of them, 89%, $12.3 million. Before 2019, Morrison won 40% normal competition. After 2019, 90%. What changed? Personnel records? Public information? Lieutenant Derek Hayes promoted to Patrol Division Supervisor March 2019. Exact same time Morrison's winning percentage jumped. She meets Warren Wednesday morning, shows him what she found. I cross-referenced Hayes' arrests with contract awards. Every time Hayes arrested a minority contractor, Morrison won that contract. Warren stares at the data. This is a pattern. This is a system. Look, Marcus Williams, electrical contractor, arrested June 2021. Morrison won fire station contract. Isaiah Johnson, plumber, arrested August 2020. Morrison won school renovation. Terrence Davis, concrete, arrested November 2022. Morrison won bridge repair. 6 contractors total. Same pattern. Wednesday afternoon, Rachel files FOIA for county emails. Keywords: Morrison, Hayes, bid, contract. County fights it initially. Her attorney threatens lawsuit. County caves Thursday. 8,000 emails delivered. She finds it Friday morning. Email from Hayes to John Morrison. Date June 10th, 2024. Subject: target identified. Body: Anderson Engineering scored 94/100ths, too high. Need to expedite usual process. Second email, June 12th. Warrant request filed. Judge Morrison handling. Friday ceremony for maximum impact. Third email, June 14th. Everything set. 4:39 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure your crew available for library projects start July 1st. Rachel's hands shake reading them. This was planned, coordinated, premeditated conspiracy. Saturday, she contacts civil rights attorney Lisa Monroe, shows the emails. Monroe's face hardens. This is criminal conspiracy. We need Hayes's financial records. Can we get them? File federal civil rights lawsuit, then subpoena bank records in discovery. Monday, Monroe files. Warren Anderson v. Derek Hayes, Morrison Construction, Riverside County. The emails become public record. Story explodes again. Discovery produces Hayes's bank records Thursday. 8 deposits. Offshore account. $43,250 each time. Total $346,000. Every deposit within 2 weeks of Morrison winning major county contract. Rachel publishes Friday. Lieutenant took $346K in bribes to target black contractors. 300,000 views in 6 hours. Sheriff Bradford reads the article. Sees the evidence. His department. His responsibility. He calls FBI Atlanta field office. I'm reporting corruption involving my officers and a circuit judge. We need federal investigators. The agent's tone changes. We'll have a team there Monday morning. Monday, July 1st. Warren finds his contractor license suspended, letter taped to his office door. All contracts terminated. By 10 a.m., both major clients cancel. School district, $290,000. Hospital, $680,000. 60% of annual revenue gone. By noon, his 3 employees quit. We have families. Can't risk it. By 2 p.m., Warren sits in an empty office. 3 years destroyed in hours. Tuesday, Chief Dixon holds press conference. Internal Affairs found no evidence of misconduct. Lieutenant Hayes remains on active duty. Wednesday, Warren gets a threatening call. Unknown number. Drop the lawsuit. Walk away. You don't know how deep this goes, Warren tells Bradford. Bradford orders patrol cars on Warren Street in Sarah's apartment. Thursday, Sarah's school board reassigns her. Parents are complaining. No more classroom teaching. Administrative duties only. Friday, Warren's bank threatens to call his equipment loan. $68,000 due in 30 days or they repossess everything. That night, Sarah comes over. She's been crying. This was supposed to be the best month. Instead, we're losing everything. Outside, the patrol car idles. Inside, their dreams crumble. Saturday, July 6th, 2:30 a.m. Warren sits on the pier where he proposed, thinking about leaving, about giving up. Sarah finds him there. They sit in silence. I called Marcus Williams, Warren says. The contractor Hayes arrested in 2021. He said run, said fighting broke him, cost everything. He drives trucks in Alabama now. Do you want to run? Warren thinks about his father, about the day Thomas Anderson was fired, about how he came home defeated. My dad gave up, worked himself to death, died at 51. I swore I'd never let them beat me. This isn't about your father. It's about every black man who tried to build something and watched it get taken, whether we fight or run. Sarah takes his hand. You matter to me. Is that enough? Sunday morning. Sheriff Bradford sits with old case files. Every complaint against Hayes since 2017, 12 total, all dismissed, same investigator, same supervisor, system protecting itself. He calls Marcus Williams. I'm sorry, I should have done more. Williams responds, if you really want to fix it, burn it down, everyone who knew, including you. The line goes dead. Bradford sits with his guilt. Tuesday, July 9th. Marcus Williams calls Warren. I saw the emails, the bank records. I'm coming back to testify. That afternoon, Isaiah Johnson calls. I'm in, whatever you need. Then Terrence Davis. Count me in. By Wednesday, all 6 contractors Hayes targeted have contacted Warren, all willing to fight. Thursday, Rachel publishes 6 victims. One system, how Riverside targeted minority contractors. 5 million views in 24 hours. Friday, community leaders organize town hall at AME Church. Capacity 300. 450 show up. Marcus speaks first. I ran because I thought I had no choice. Warren showed me we do. I'm done hiding. Warren speaks last. They did this to send a message. Know your place. Don't compete. I'm not staying in my lane. I'm staying in this fight. The crowd erupts. We're with you. By Sunday, petition has 2,300 signatures. Delivered Monday to County Commission, FBI Department of Justice. Tuesday, Officer Jenny Blake walks into Lisa Monroe's office. Asks for immunity. FBI agents come immediately. Blake testifies, I knew Hayes was dirty. I photographed his bank statements. She slides folder across table. 8 deposits, highlighted. This changes everything, the agent says. Wednesday, July 17th. FBI raids 8 locations, 6:15 a.m. Hayes' home, Morrison's office, Judge Morrison's chambers, computers seized, files taken. Thursday, Blake's audio recording leaks, 18 minutes. Hayes and Morrison in Morrison's truck, March 2024. Hayes, this Anderson guy scored 94. Too clean. Morrison, then make something up. That's what Teddy's for. Hayes laughs. Your brother is useful. Morrison, family business, Teddy signs papers, you arrest, I get contracts, we split money. The connection was always there. Judge Theodore Morrison and contractor John Morrison. Brothers. Friday, FBI arrests 12 people. Hayes, 12 counts including bribery and civil rights violations. John Morrison, 9 counts. Judge Morrison, 15 counts including corruption and abuse of power. Rachel publishes the audio transcript, 6 million views in 8 hours. Comments explode. They were bragging about destroying lives. And they said Bradford wouldn't do anything, they were wrong. Monday, August 2nd, County Commission emergency hearing, 300 seats, 500 people show up. Warren speaks first. I was arrested at my wedding because I won a bid fairly, but this isn't about me. It's about 6 black contractors targeted for daring to succeed. Marcus, Isaiah, Terrence speak. Each tells their story. Lisa Monroe. We're seeking more than damages. We're seeking reform. Body cameras mandatory. Independent IA oversight. Contract transparency. Sheriff Bradford speaks last. I failed. I should have seen this. I'm recommending complete independent audit of every contract since 2019. Every Hayes arrest. Every Morrison warrant. Burn it down. Rebuild it right. The commissioners vote. Motion for federal investigation. Yes. Police reform, yes. Contract review, yes. 6 votes, yes. 1 abstention. The crowd erupts. Justice delayed but not denied. Outside, Warren tells reporters, we're going to get married now, quietly, just us, the way it should have been. 3 months later, Hayes sentenced, 12 years federal prison. John Morrison, 10 years. Judge Morrison, 15 years. Warren and Sarah married at courthouse. Small ceremony, just family, just vows. Anderson Engineering slowly rebuilds. 3 new clients. Honest work. Restored reputation. The 6 contractors form the Anderson Initiative. Support network for minority-owned businesses. Legal fund. Mentorship. Sheriff Bradford announces retirement. 33 years enough. Time with family. Time to heal. The system changed. Not perfectly, but changed. Body cameras mandatory. IA independent. Bidding transparent. 1 wedding destroyed. 12 careers ended. 1 system exposed. They see the man now. Share this story. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe. Justice stories must be told. The fight continues.